In this video, I'm going to change the way that you think about marketing in your MSP. I'm going to give you the biggest mindset shift that will help you get out of your own way and win more business. And here's the cool thing. Once you understand this concept, everything becomes clear. You can see clearly. Any marketing you're currently doing now, you'll be able to quickly know if it's worth doing or not. And you'll know where to spend your time and your money. So let's get into it. But before we start, actually, I'm going to tell you a little story about me and my sort of MSP sales and marketing journey. 2013, I was doing MSP sales for another MSP at the time, and I had no problem selling. So it was like, once I was sat down in front of a prospect, the sale was easy. I just had to listen to their technical problems, their issues with their current provider, what they were looking to do in their business, and then sell them that managed service agreement. That was the easy bit. The hard bit was actually getting in front of the prospects in the first place. That was like really difficult for me. And you can maybe relate to that. And that's why so many MSPs kind of gravitate towards marketing and they ask the questions like, I need more leads. Anyway, I've been doing this for like 8 years now. I've been helping MSPs solve this problem. How do you find more prospects that are actually looking for IT services? I've tried everything in the book. I've tried SEO. I've tried social media, content marketing, account-based marketing, direct mail, cold calling. The list goes on. And it's taken me 8 years to figure this one out. Okay. And I'm gonna share with you here. But first, I have a question for you. How have you gotten most of your clients today? That's the question. When I ask this question of my clients, so I've worked with over 500 MSPs now, and I always ask them this question because I like to understand how they've grown their business. 9 times out of 10, it's always the same answer. It's either word of mouth, referrals, people they already know in business. That is what I get back as the answer. Sure, you might get lucky with an inquiry for your website now and again, but it's usually just a trickle of marketing leads. Most of the businesses that I speak to, most of the IT businesses and MSPs, it's word of mouth, referrals, or business relationships through their business network. That's how they've gotten their customers. Now let's apply first principles thinking to this. And don't worry if you don't know what it is. Neither did I until I actually wrote this video. But once you get this, everything's going to click. Elon Musk built much of his success using first principle thinkings. Politics aside, impact that he's had is undeniable. And here's a simple example. NASA launches rockets at a cost of $1.5 billion. That's $1,500 million. It's a crazy number. Instead of Musk copying NASA, Musk asked one question. What is a rocket actually made of? When he broke it down, he realized something. The materials were cheap. It was the process that was expensive. So SpaceX built everything themselves. They vertically integrated. And as a result, the Falcon 9 launches for around $65 million, a tiny fraction compared to the $1.5 billion that NASA has. So that is first principles thinking, rebuilding from the fundamentals, not copying the existing system. So let's do this for MSPs. How do we apply it for an MSP? If most of your clients come through referrals, word of mouth, and people you know, what do they all have in common? It's one thing. It's relationships. None of them exist without a relationship. So when we apply first principles thinking to MSP growth, we realize something important. We're not looking for more leads. We're looking for more relationships. So if we take this to the extreme and we ask the question, okay, we need to build more relationships in our business. How can we do that through the digital tools and the marketing that we've got? What's the best way to do that? Well, the answer is webinars. It's what I've been doing for 2 years now with my clients and for my own business. Now, you might have some objections to webinars in your head. You maybe tried them before, or the objections that I usually hear are like, oh, they have never worked for me before. Okay, that's usually the first one. The second biggie is like, Fear of presenting. A lot of MSPs are introverted, they're technical in nature. They'd rather be in front of an event year long than presenting to a room full of business owners. I get that one. Third thing is usually like registration onto a webinar, like getting people to actually register onto the webinar. The fourth thing, and the crazy one that I had to learn this the hard way, is once you've got that registration thing solved, it's actually getting people to attend the webinar. You'll be surprised at the attendance rates when you first start doing these. And then the fifth thing on this is like, what do you actually sell in a webinar? And what's the topic of a webinar? These are all objections that I hear, but there's some really great benefits to a webinar for an MSP. And I call this the REAP formula, okay? R stands for relationships, and we've kind of already covered that one. It's the only marketing mechanism that you can do in your business right now that's going to build relationships. You can do that in a webinar. You have the attention of the room for 20 or 30 minutes. You can't do that through any other type of marketing. The E in the REAP formula, this stands for educate. You get to educate your prospects on your business, what makes your IT business different from all the rest, but also the value, where the value of your business is, what the value is that you bring. You can't do that through a sales brochure. It's really difficult, okay? So you get to educate. And then the second E in the REAP formula, this is entertain. You get to entertain in the webinar. And the simple fact when it comes to sales, one of the facts is that people buy from people they like and people they know and trust. So you get to have that entertainment factor, you get to tell a story, and it builds that likability and that trust factor in a webinar. So you can pull that forward, and it gives you a much better chance when it does eventually come to the sales meeting. And then the final thing in the REAP formula, the P, is called present. You get to present your offer, what your next step's going to be after the webinar. Is it going to be a sales appointment? What does that actually look like? I call it a Trojan horse. You want to actually sell the next step, okay? So that's the REAP formula. That's the benefits to the webinars for MSPs. But there's also, once you start doing this like on a regular basis and you get good at it, once you get over like the fear and like just the clunkiness of doing webinars, there's some really cool things. So from you guys' perspectives, I know how much time is like a finite resource in your business. So when it comes to all these marketing activities, it's really difficult to fit them all in. The cool thing with a webinar is they only take 20 or 30 minutes to actually do. And you can repurpose all of the content across your marketing. So there's tools out there, take the webinar recording, convert it into a blog post, into a LinkedIn article, into an email, take the video. You can use a tool like Opus Clip, and then you can create lots of shorts. So you have this whole marketing collateral just from that 20 or 30-minute webinar. So that's the first cool thing. The other cool thing is that they're actually fun to do. Once you get over the fear, as I mentioned, and you start doing them regularly, they become fun. You get to meet new people all the time, every week, if you're doing them on a weekly or a monthly basis. And then the third and most important, you're going to get sales appointments in the diary as a result of doing these webinars. You're naturally going to get more people that are going to book into your calendar because you're going to be in front of 20 or 30 businesses every single week, educating them and building a relationship and entertaining them and presenting your offer. You're going to get more sales meetings in the diary. It's a simple fact. So here's the lesson. If you want to grow your MSP and build more relationships, relationships naturally leads to sales. So remember this, relationships, not leads. And for any of those objections that you might have in your head that I mentioned earlier, the fear of presenting, registrations, attendance, what to sell, what to talk about, check out the video that I link here. This will take you through all of those steps. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.